So I recently got myself a mountain bike, but one thing I don't have is somewhere to put it. And I'd seen these wall mounts online and I thought, I want to have a go at making one. I'm using some wide channel iron and some extra flat bar I had lying around. The reason for flaring the opening is my bike has an extra wide front tire and it just needs a little bit of help once you're picking it up, I guess, to locate the front tire to the middle of the channel. Otherwise you kind of banging the tire around trying to get it in. It's a bit tricky. I'm not a welder at all, and this is about the second or third time I've ever welded anything in my life. And I massively underestimated it, the amount of cutting and grinding and how difficult metalwork is. So yeah, new respect for that. I wanted to cut back the entrance of the channel just to not have any pokey corners sticking out, so if the bike's not on there you won't bang your head on a sharp corner, and if you're trying to locate the bike onto the mount, you're not going to put a sharp corner into the side of your tire. So back to a cutting disc just to finish off the other side to make it symmetrical, obviously. And then I decided to round the top just for a bit of aesthetic appeal. The way I sort of did that is I just tried to get the closest thing to me that was round, which was a grinding disc, I guess, because I was using the angle grinder, and just to get a profile so that I could cut it uniformly around. It looks heaps better than just leaving it square, and also I guess it makes it a little bit lighter. This thing, although it's small, weighs a lot for what it looks like. So almost there now. I just have to clean it up before painting. So again, you guessed it, a lot more grinding. Man, I really underestimated how much you do for metalwork. Wood is so much easier. But before we can get to the paint, I needed to make some holes so you can actually mount it fast to the wall, and there are 2 extra holes on the side of this mount to carry the hook for the front tire. Now that was a little bit of a process in itself, and I had no idea how it worked, so I got some round bar and basically beat the hell out of it until I fashioned myself a hook on one end and a 90-degree bend on the other. The idea being that the 90-degree bend would go through the top of the channel and the hook would hook the front tire. Now, I'd only ever seen these things online and I'd never seen one in person, so I had no idea if the hook needed to swivel or if it needed to be fastened in one location, and so I just kind of winged it from here, and you'll see later it didn't turn out well. Anyway, at this point in the build, I was under the impression that it needed to swivel, so I had this idea of drilling a hole through it and putting a washer and a split pin. Now, orange, you might ask. Well, it was the only tin of Rust-Oleum that I had, so it was going to be orange. Just coincidence that my bike is orange as well. Pure coincidence, but a happy one. At this stage, I'm hoping you're starting to see the totally unplanned build that this is. It was a sort of spur-of-the-moment decision, and this again is a classic case of not measuring. And so I went in to the only part of the house that I thought the bike would fit, and just went bananas and just drilled holes and lined it up and mounted it, only to later discover that the space isn't big enough. And although I've edited it out, it took me almost 10 minutes to try and mount this bicycle. It was just way too difficult. With that hook that swivels up and down, it was almost impossible to hook it on. So, stand back in shame and make a new plan. So I added an extra pin. There just happened to be some holes in the flat bar that I used. And so this is just a bolt and a nut with some washers to act as a stopper to stop the hook from swiveling too far down and actually giving you good enough access to hook the front tire on. The next available place that I could see was over in the workshop on the far left side. It was an absolute tip, as we'd just been having some customer orders coming in for woodwork, and the workshop was an absolute tip. So only once I was editing this video I realized how untidy these shots were. So a couple of days after this particular shot, I came back and started tidying up just to make the shot look a little bit better and to give you a better view of how the bicycle rack works. It was a quick and easy build, not a professional job, but it works. And if you like these kinds of videos, please share, please like, please consider subscribing. There will be more farm focused videos coming in the future. Thanks for watching.